Alright, so once again, just before we move on to another chart, here's the 7L. Again, we have the 7 here. Here's the top of the 7. Here's the stem of the 7. Okay, the L, we've got the foot of the L here, and we've got the stem of the L here. And then in the middle is this big connecting, it's a stack of 3 extra long notes, 3 whole steps, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Believe it or not, that's like a dominant scale. Okay, now where do the half steps come in? 5, 6, 7. When you have this interval, okay, let's look at the intervals right here. Okay, we're going to look at the intervals right. Whoa, I went sideways. All right, we're going to look at the intervals right here. All right, cursor mode. So, how does 7 get to root on this interval? Because this is a perfect scale. You know, scales go whole, 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 half, half, whole, 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 half, whole, whole, whole. Okay? So, now then it doesn't go, we don't have, on the top it has to skip one. Alright, so with the root it's 3 wholes and then a half step interval here. Here's a perfect fourth, here's a minor third, okay? Here's a whole step, because it's 1 less than a minor third. Over there's a half step, 1 less than a whole step. So root goes root, 2, 3, half step up, 4, 5, 6, okay? Now, it doesn't go, and then it has to skip up a little bit. So the root isn't right there to save us, okay? Once the half step to the 6th, to the 7th, actually, see, it's less of an interval than the interval, say, between 3 and 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 frets. But when you go to the 6 to the 7, it's only 3 frets. Okay, so that's really a whole step. From the 6 to the 7 is another whole step right there. So the stack of 3 extra long doesn't continue on into the next octave. Okay, so but we do get most of it. We get, starting from 5, we get 5, 6, 7. And then automatically there's a half step there, right there for you. Okay, and then, so it's useful in across all of the keys, and it also connects these these halves of the 7L, which is interesting. And I haven't quite exploited the use of this yet. I'm going to be working it into my playing as I mature in my playing, believe it or not, you know, because I've really only started this kind of cage stuff in the last couple of years. My whole life I just played like chords and stuff, you know. Didn't know what I was doing. Thought I knew what I was doing. But I had no idea what I was doing until I started to study the cage system and realized it didn't work the same way as the piano. And then I decided, wait a minute, music should work across the board. This is actually from lesson 8. So we have got to get back. We've got to get back to where we were before. Back to where we once belonged. I'm supposed to be giving you guys what lesson is that? What lesson are we on now? Cursor mode. We're back so far there's not even a video lesson for this one. So we're going to the magic stack. the magic stack idea didn't work that well. A lot of these ideas will work if you wanted to work them. They'll work if you work it. I looked at the clock and it reminds me of a meeting. It works if you work it. So work it, you're worth it. The magic stack is just, if you start something from A on the keyboard, so A is where the light blue note is. Believe it or not, if I do an A shape, I believe it's an A shape from the D string, it'll be a D shape. It's just a memory aid, that's all. And similarly, if I do an A shape from the G on that string, you call it the G string because you're hitting the G there, not because the G is back here. Where the nut is, that would be E, A, D. That's the D string. But I'm just saying, if you were to put the fret thing right there, all right, we could do that. We can do that. I don't like to do it, but we could do it. If this was the new nut, okay, so don't worry about this. This is the new nut right here. That would be the G string. And the magic stack says if you start an A shape from the G string, it'll become a G shape on your way down. Believe it or not, I can show you. Here's the A shape. Now, this would be more like a bar. Okay, this is a bar because you're going to have to go lower than what the nut would give you. The nut only gives you the fret that the nut is capoed on or something. So don't put a capo there. Always use your finger. People, that's like a crutch. A capo is like a crutch because it limits you. It's making your playing board smaller. But it's nice to play with one. I don't like to use them because the capo gets in the way, and the first thing I want to do is go lower than the capo. But they're good as learning tools to see where the notes are when you bar. But you should finger bar this. And you play an A. There would be, A would start on the, as you know, the A starts on the 5th. Okay, so if this is the 5th, it's got to be the key of D. Whoop, key of D. All right, let's go back to cursor mode. Let's erase this stuff. It's gonna get in the way next time. It's gonna get in the way. We're back to cursor mode here. So we have this imaginary thing here. The key of D. A is the 5th of D. Okay, so here's the A, and here's the D. Okay. All right, so it's 5, 6. Following the pattern over here, 5, 6, R2. All right, root is the D because there's the key of D, and R2. And then we're going to do one of these. The key of D would be F sharp. We're only going to hit one sharp. So it'd be, we're into a long E here, right? We're into a long E here. So it's 7, 2, 3, 5. D, the D is, actually that's the root. 7. Okay, it's 3, 5. It's 3, 5, 6 root. Okay, so here we got starting on the 5th. It's 5, 6, root 2, and then 3, 5, 6 root back to D. Okay, and then you're going to go into another. So you're done with this stack of 2 long here. You're going to start another S3S, starting on the 2. Okay. So we did bump, 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 bump. Then we want to start on the 2 again, right? Now, why is that not working?